when you live in a neighborhood like this, you also want to be a part of it, and you want to give back, and you want to be a part of the community. It's a great, fun way to do it, that people show up and they want to talk to you and they want to ask questions. And do you really keep all of those things in the basement? And how terrified are you kids of those things in the basement? And then you're talking to your neighbors, which is easy not to do in New York City. It's so easy to close the door and you know, live your quiet life behind that door. And so it's nice to not do that. We inherited the local neighborhood parade. It used to be just a small group of families, and the family that had been organizing it, they felt like their kids were getting a little too old. My wife handled all the logistics, you know, asking people to bake cookies and brownies and getting the work permit and all that stuff. And I thought, oh, well, my contribution can be decorating. You know, we're gonna have people hang on the lawn, we should have some decorations. So I got this pumpkin guy here, he was one of the first, and the werewolf, and then Dracula, who's over in the corner. They're classics, you know, the werewolf and Dracula, and I couldn't find a Frankenstein, but that was it. And then the next year I thought, well, this is a big porch, so I should get a couple more, right? There are this many sections to the porch, so I need probably that many. So there's one in each little window of the porch. And then 3 years in, we're like, well, one looks a little empty, don't you think? And then, you know, that's what happens, how you become a hoarder.
It's so cool. When people go all out like this, it's respect for that, you know?
It's a multi-step process. It happens over the course of several weekends. I start with the lights first, and then I do the skeletons. But in terms of the actual porch, it takes a long time just to carry them all up out of the basement and then assemble them. And so that all happens in our front parlor. And so that's sort of the worst for my family, because they have to spend 2 weeks with these monsters in the house. Every once in a while, I myself have been startled because I've forgotten, oh, I left Michael Myers at the top of the basement stairs. Regan, the Exorcist doll, is the only one that my son, who's 11 now, but was, you know, maybe 6 or 7 when she was first bought, was so terrified of her. Not afraid of any of the clowns, any of the zombies, the witches. He couldn't even look at the box. I had to cover it with a blanket. And so I couldn't put her out on the porch. He allowed me to put her out on Halloween night, and then the next morning she had to be wrapped up and put in the basement again. He's certainly never seen that movie. I don't know if it, I mean, look, a spinning head covered in vomit is pretty scary, I guess.
Yeah. Creepy AF.
You can say it.
Creepy as fuck.
I mean, that thing
But
just
in a good
popped
way.
out.
She's like shaking and she's like about to like.
No, it's basically a true story though, Connecticut.
Oh my God,
It gets me every
you're like a
time.
5-year-old.
It's the first time that I'm seeing this. It's really, really nice.
Are you a big fan of Halloween?
Yeah, but I don't really dress up.
You think, oh, they're out there, now I don't have to deal with them until, you know, November 5th. That's not the case at all. Every day I have to do a scan. Oh, this one lost its head. I got to replace the head. This one fell over. The arm is broken. Can I get an old part from the basement from another broken one from 3 years ago? Oh, yeah, that arm will work on this clown. Now, the bane of my existence is this double trouble twin girls here, because they get knocked over all the time and their heads aren't attached. Everybody else's head's attached. So I had to pull their heads out of the bushes 3 times last week because the wind was so strong. So I got to climb over these pointy fences to get their heads out. I'm not even going to put them out next year, I don't think. They're too much trouble. They're double trouble.
You could see it.
What?
We can't like go a day and like take another route without him like needing to stop by. Calls it the honky house because he can't say haunted house, so it's the honky house.
Everything but the zombie parts. I'm finally getting used to it after living here 5 to 6 years.
One of the more surprising things was the candy of it all. We asked neighbors, well, how much are we going to need, do you think? And people say, oh, well, we usually get a bag from Costco, and there are 100 pieces of candy or whatever it is. And so we got maybe 300 pieces of candy. We seemed like that'll be enough, was not enough. From the first year, we were out in 20 minutes. And again, part of that was, when you put, 40 monsters on your porch, kids are going to come ring your bell. And so the next year we got, whatever it was, 50 pounds of candy. Still not enough. And the barrage was so overwhelming that my dislike of crowds, my anxiety would kick in. And these kids are wonderful, but in mass, it is terrifying that everybody's reaching into the pot and don't give me the Snickers, I want the Hershey bar, I want the Reese's, and they're, it's kids and sugar. It's a bad combination all the time. And so on Halloween, it's just too much for me. I can do the monsters and I can do the lights and I can do the decorating. I cannot do the handing out of the candy any longer.
It's great. It's amazing. It makes me so happy, and everybody loves each other, and it's just a lot of fun.
It's awesome.
I love it because even though it's scary, it's not gruesome, like bloody scary. It's just really creative. So it just makes it really amazing.
It is 99.9% wonderful, and every once in a while there'll be, some jerk that'll come up on the porch and punch the scarecrow in the head and knock its head off, and that makes me mad. I'm like, why am I doing this? It's so much time and energy.
Did that actually happen?
That happened, yeah. I mean, it was a group of, it was teenage boys. It's irresistible. How could they not climb up onto the porch and punch a scarecrow in the head? But then, a group of preschoolers will come by and take pictures and scream their heads off. And you're like, oh, okay. Who cares about that kid punching the scarecrow when you have all these amazing kids who love it? So it's going to keep going. Why are you asking me this question? It's going to keep going. It's going to until they put me in the grave.
Okay. Who's that?